Hello again, friends, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing young Ahamkara's spine and how it can make you a better player while still giving you a fighting chance in today's Crucible. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Young Ahamkara's spine greatly improves our trip mine grenades. And how much, you may ask? Well, for starters, it increases the blast radius and damage by roughly 14%. The blast from spines also has no damage drop-off, so even a tickle from the spines will do full damage. Wow, what a crazy good exotic, you might say. And what's crazy is that's not even the end of it. It's got more perks. It gives your trip mines fastball intrinsically. Oh, and it makes them stick to walls for 30 seconds. And it gives them armor so they take clips to take down. Oh, and the most important part, grenade energy on ability damage. These gloves kind of do it all, and it's no wonder I'm starting to see them more and more in today's sandbox. So you may be asking yourself, why would I choose these over, say, Khepri Sting or Gerfalcon? And while both options are insanely strong and meta, I challenge you to open your mind to the playmaking potential of these gloves. While invis and wall hacks will give you an advantage in a gunfight, they don't teach you positioning. They don't teach you game sense or awareness. In fact, they hinder your growth in these areas. Lil Spine, on the other hand, rewards such skill while also packing a punch. Yeah, a noob can slap on the spines and get some free kills, but a master will know exactly where to place them to cover their angles, crush a corner camper, or finish off someone who just ran to cover. Spine also applies a lot of pressure in 3v3 game modes, as it forces your opponents out of certain positions of the map out of fear of a looming trip mine. Invis hunters can lurk all they want, but if they get tagged by that nade, you will know instantly where they are and you will clean them up. All of this to say, baby got back. Get it? Because it's a spine. And spines are backs? Word. Today we'll be using what is quickly becoming one of my favorite weapons in the game, Teraba, alongside our trusty trip mines. I'm going to be using Golden Gun Deadshot, simply because I'm playing sixes, and this seems to kind of pop off the most there. However, if you're doing a 3v3 game mode, I would strongly recommend Blade Barrage. I use Gambler's Dodge, as I like to have my proxy knaves up as much as possible, but don't want to pull too many points away from discipline to put into strength. Strafe Jump is tried and true and will always be my favorite, probably the one I will always use. Proximity Knives, as said before, alongside our trip mine grenades. Knock 'em down and on your mark are tried and true, extremely powerful aspects, and I would not deviate from these whatsoever. As for fragments, we're using Ember of Beams, Ember of Searing, Ember of Torches, Ember of Combustion, and Ember of Solace. And these are the mods that I'm going to be running today on my armor. In particular, I really like Grenade Kickstart on the spines themselves, and then I also like Double Bomber to just kind of have as much uptime as possible with the grenades. Here I want to highlight some interesting bits regarding the spines and how to optimize them. I personally prefer to use proximity knives with these, as they let me wombo combo people by chucking the knife then grenade back to back to cause an instant explosion. This also works as traps too. Sometimes I'll throw the knife nade combo at a wall where I expect someone to chase me, and this will lead to their untimely demise quite often, while also making me radiant for the next fight. Proxy knives damage also refill your grenade energy, as it's not just damage from the nade, but any ability to trigger its regen. It's bonkers good. Technically you can use weighted knife here if you wanted to, but I find the playmaking potential too great with the proxy knives to switch, but you do you, fam. Also, something to note, this build gets you to your super fast if played right, as you are constantly dealing big chunks of damage with your nades fairly regularly. I wouldn't recommend going too low on intellect, but it certainly isn't as necessary if you get your game flow tuned in. One last thing before I go, I want you to take your next few Crucible matches and think about these things with spines, as this has helped me grow a ton. 1. Pay close attention to your abilities and manage their uptime appropriately. 2. Watch for angles to drop your nades and try cheeky, unexpected placement. This forces your brain to think creatively and also gives you an edge in certain fights. And number 3, use your cover and be aware of your positioning. This one is a tad more nuanced, but the idea is that you just be mindful of where you are at any given moment, where you can or have placed your grenades, and where your enemy and teammates are relative to you. The spines will reward you tenfold should you choose to put these into practice. Thanks for coming and watching. I personally love this exotic and feel it has a place among the top tier in the current sandbox. It's a little more difficult to take advantage of over, say, invis spam, but the reward is well worth it. Feel free to sound off in the comments on what kind of build you'd like me to do next, or what your experience has been with young Ahamkara's spine. I'm still a relatively new YouTuber, so I am still seeing every single comment and kind of obsessing over them. So know that I do see what you say, and I will respond if given the opportunity. So thank you so much for everybody. Your support is unreal. So have a good one and take care.
Pressure on. It's almost over. One minute. Victory is within your grasp. Fight. Enough.